Alright, we're back at it. Alright, so last week I was working on the distributor, and this is the distributor I was using, the fast dual sync, which is the distributor I preferred. However, when I was done, the fuel rail ran right into the distributor cap. So I called up Speedmaster, and they told me to use the 3750 distributor, but in the meantime I also decided to try a different distributor. So the one in the car now is the 3750 MSD. So I also ordered another ignition system, which unfortunately is money I really don't want to spend right now, but I had to get through this ignition nightmare. So I decided to order a coil on plug system, which is this distributor here. And you take the distributor cap off, and you put a blank cap on, and that gives you more than enough room for the fuel rail and firewall and all that. And you go ahead and you use ELS style coils. Now, the benefit to this is you'll actually end up with a better spark with this system, for the simple reason that every time a coil fires and then the next coil fires, it gives the coil that had previously fired enough time to cool, and it'll give you a really solid and strong spark next time around. And I'm going to make the MSD with the Ultra 6A box. Nice small box, because I'm starting to run out of room and I hate all this crap all over the car. But anyway, get back to the coils. So yeah, they give you a nice solid spark, and it's actually a better system. But again, even though it's a better system, it's still too much clutter, because you got to put these coils somewhere, and obviously they're not going to go on top of the valve cover without major dissection of a valve cover, which I was not going to do. I will on my next project. None of these are a waste, because I still have the Camaro to do, I still have the coffin car to do, and I actually have a 54 GMC 5-window truck that I need to do also. And along with this system, they give you nice harnesses, LS style harnesses that clip right in. And one additional item that I purchased is nothing but a bunch of brackets. But what you can do is each bracket, I'll bring it a little closer, each bracket basically you could just stack your coils here and then find a home for this, but again, too much clutter. So I just made the final decision to go ahead and stick with the 8750 MSD. It's got a short cap, the distributor itself is short, and it's a 2-wire distributor. I kind of wanted the dual sync, but I went ahead with the 2-wire distributor, and also I replaced the rotor with a phasable rotor, so this way the timing will be perfect. And also the braking oil, I put 9 quarts in the engine. That's just an extra quart I ordered. So that's done. I'm going to uncover this here, and then I'll get the camera off and we'll take a look at some progress. And I'm going to do a little bit more today also. So let's pop the camera off and take a little walk around. Just a reminder, I'm not a cameraman, but I'll do the best I can. So basically, I got the stack system in, which I actually had in last week. If you remember, I had this throttle body off. I got it back on. We got the injectors in, as you can see in here. You see the black injectors. Those are 55 or 58 pound injectors. I don't remember. I got to look. I still have the horns off, and I got the throttle installed. Well, at least attached here. It's not necessarily installed, but it's attached. I still need to cut it, shape it, and get it to where it's got to go. And let's see if we can get a picture of that distributor just to show you this fuel rail situation. So here's the distributor. The last one was much taller distributor and cap, so it was actually, you couldn't even put this fuel rail in. But as you can see, you got a good amount of room there. You know, the reason that I was thinking also about going with the coil-on plug setup was that rail back there. That's the return. That leaves me a little uncomfortable. You know, if there's a leak, you got ignition right underneath it. So I'm going to kind of rethink that and see if I could come up with some type of a diverter. So if, God forbid, there is a leak, we're not going to have a catastrophe. And, you know, that could turn into a real nightmare. So I'm getting close to starting the engine wiring, which is not hard. It's pretty self-explanatory, but so many wires and all that crap is going to be all over the engine compartment. I mean, I'm going to make it as neat as possible. I just dislike wires. And also, I got the distributor locked in. I have the distributor basically timed, and I have it phased. Let me show you what I mean by phase. Oh, I already popped that in. I forgot that I had tightened the cap. But basically, I have an adjustable rotor underneath that cap. And what happens is there's a two-part rotor. You put the base on and tighten that down, and then you clockwise, you turn on the actual rotor part, the second half, into slots, and you actually line up that rotor exactly with my number one ended up back here. I wanted it back here anyway because it's just easier to run the wires the way I need to run them. But you basically phase your rotor to number one so it's exact. And there's a couple of tricks. I just don't have the room for it, but I was going to get another distributor, and I was actually going to drill a hole here, and I'd be able to see it and make it even more exact. But I'm pretty sure she's dead on. And the computer will take over, and also you can fine-tune it at the computer. So being that that's all set, the next thing I need to do is go ahead and do my before top dead center timing. I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything down there. You can see a little bit. Well, anyway, down in here right now we're at top dead center, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it at approximately 33 before top dead center. That should be good timing for this. And again, you can play with the computer a little bit with the timing, so you could get it exact. You could retard it a little if you have to. Also, on that distributor, you do have to do a procedure if you want the timing controlled by the computer, and that is you have to lock the distributor. So basically, you get the brand new distributor, you pop the gear off of it, you pull the shaft up about 2 or 3 inches, you go ahead and you take the lock off, the nut off, and where it's on the actual advance, you got to take the advance mechanism, all that crap off too. And then you spin it 180 and you drop it in a solid hole, you lock it back up, and now she's locked at 0. And basically, it won't advance by itself without the computer telling you what to do. If you didn't do that, it would be a disaster. It could even damage the motor if it were to just get crazy on timing and detonate, and that would be the end of that. So as I said, we also put in the oil, the break-in oil. I primed it. Motor was primed when they ran it. It was dynoed. So, but I did it again just to be safe. And again, I'm using all the Blueprint products. I also got the oil filter on. And I started popping a couple of plugs in, but I do got to get my little piece of vacuum hose or my plug installer to get some of the plugs in the back there. Just too hard to do with the actual socket. And let's see, what else did we get done this week? Well, really, it was just one day. It was yesterday, and a little bit today. And I still got to put the horns on. They're sitting on the table there. Here's my collection of distributors. And there's the MSD box. It's the Ultra 6A, which seems to be the best choice for what I'm doing here. And okay, let's go ahead and get this back on a stand and finish up. Okay, so I added a few nickel and dime toys this week. I went ahead and, because I'm going to be doing the brakes, I'm going to put the fluid in. I'll try to do that today. Maybe I'll do it Saturday next week, all depends. But I got a AGM brake pressure bleeder. So this way I can do this by myself and I know that there won't be any air. They make a couple of different versions. One is it's like a suction setup, a vacuum setup that you go to the back, front, whatever, put it on the bleeder, and then you hit the valve and it sucks the fluid through. This one's actually going to push the fluid through from the master cylinder. Now, I did buy also an adapter kit, but I'm not too keen on this adapter kit for this particular master cylinder. I'll show you why. So basically you would be using, this is the one that you would be using. It would go on top of the master cylinder. There's adjusters with a chain that goes around it and all that. And then your pressure goes in here. And the pressure pod also has fluid in it, so it's constantly feeding the fluid. You're not going to run out when you're doing this. But this here, a little too big. You know, I test fitted it, didn't like it. But this kit will come in handy for other things, so it wasn't a waste of money. And this here, it works quite well. I temporarily plugged it in just to play with it, and everything seems to work well on that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my own master cylinder bleeder, or top bleeder. And as always, we got spares of everything around here because we don't know how to buy just one. So I'm going to take this cap, which I can actually order one instead of taking it off of here. Just the same exact master cylinder that's on the car. And what I'll do is I'll drill a hole here and I'll drill a hole here. And I'm going to put in the I'll put in the fittings. And I'll kind of create the same idea that's on that cap. I'll put it together with some Simplex. Simplex is nothing more than the plastic hose you use on large trucks for the air system. Because you're only going to put like 5-10 pounds in here to push the fluid through. You're not going to put massive you know, air poundage in there. You'll destroy the system. So basically, drill tap, create my little manifold here, clip to it, you know, job done. So I'll either use this one or I'll just go ahead and I'll just order an extra one. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I do actually have another one of these setups in my machine shop. A whole master and everything that I actually have for the coffin car. And like I said, I have multiples of a lot of parts. And again, I have projects, so I'm not really wasting money. I just take it and I put it on the shelf when that project begins. Most of the parts will be here, and that actually helps out a lot. You don't have to wait. But of course, I'll change my mind to do something else, and then at that point it will become a waste of money. But it is what it is. You know, welcome to the game of hot rodding. You never know which way you're going to go, no matter what parts you buy or what plans you make. There's always some kind of change that happens. You know, even before you start, sometimes midway, and sometimes at the end, you take it back apart and you change things. But, you know, it's just the nature of the beast. So, I think that was it for this week on the small toys. And actually, there was one more thing. I'm not going to open it up. It was just a little set of pin punches. And again, I'm not buying the top quality stuff. I'm buying just decent stuff like gear wrench or let's see, like gear wrench, Sun-X. They're good quality. I mean, for the most part, it's lifetime warranty. But I do have the two toolboxes that are in this garage are loaded already with snap-on tools. But the little odds and ends, you know, I'm not running commercially in here like I do at my truck shop. So, you know, for the 1 or 2 times, 3 times, 10 times I'm going to use them. It's okay to buy Sun-X. It's okay to purchase gear wrench, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good quality tool for the most part, and again, lifetime guaranteed. So you know, we're good to go with the warranties. But certain things like your torque wrench, you really need to spend the money and buy a good torque wrench. And I have an electronic one from Snap-on. Again, just the one that I keep here. I have another newer set at the garage that I use. So this will do foot-pounds, inch-pounds, newtons. It'll also do torque to yield, you know, the 90 degrees, 180 degrees, blah, blah, blah. And it's a really, really good tool. I send it in approximately once a year. This one here, actually, I only send it in once every few years to have it recalibrated, because there's not a lot of use on this one here. The ones that are at my shop, I'll send in once a year just to recalibrate them. And I do have actually two sets of the newer ones. So as one is out, I still have my torque wrenches, and if I had to send them both out, my son also has the newer set that I could always just basically walk across the street and borrow. And that's about it. So I guess I'm going to get back on this today, and I'm going to also, one other thing is what we're doing with wiring, all the sensors. So one of the issues is I'm just trying to come up with where I want to put the IAT sensor. The IAC motor is going to be going in here, and it's going to be a remote IAC, but you do need it in order to get that good idle. And also, without an IAC, just in like a regular fuel-injected car, if you hard accelerate and then decelerate, the chances are you can stall out. That could become dangerous. You know, especially with a hydro boost, that can become dangerous. And I guess that's about it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm just going to get back on it and see what I could get done. And for the most part, have a good weekend, whatever's left of it. Happy Easter, and we'll see you next week.